Hi GAMECORES and MGCN players, I'm Donna Burke. I'm so excited to be here and I'm going to answer all of your questions. So, what's first?
So when did you start singing and voice acting for games?
I started singing in 2003. My big break was in 2001. I got to sing for Gundam movie. And then in 2003, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and I did the narration and I sang and I wrote lyrics for 2 songs. So that was my big break.
Are you?
Oh no, sorry. I always forget this. Shenmue, I think in the year 2000. Shenmue, I did 5 lines.
So are you a game fan? What's your hobby?
Am I a game fan? Yeah, I really love games. No, I'm too gutless. I sometimes play arms with my nephew, but I'm so hopeless, so I like watching people do it.
Do you have other hobbies as well?
I've got so many hobbies. I like skiing, intermediate level skiing. I love gardening. I love playing with my cats. I love doing improv, so I do improvised comedy. There's a really big improvised comedy scene in China, I hear. A few of my friends have performed there. I like watching TV and I love reading. So I like doing quiet things because my job's really exciting, and so I like to relax on the weekend and just chill.
Can you introduce Ganame Jazz and why did you start Ganame Jazz?
Oh, I love Ganame Jazz. So let me just, oh here we go. So this CD we made this year, and just in case you can't really see or guess, this one's me. Yeah. And that's Shinsuke, he's super cute and he plays the piano, and that's that's Koji the drummer, and that's Motoyoshi the bass player, and that's Hideki, and he plays electric guitar. And the cool thing about, I would only get to perform my game and anime songs on a massive stage with a symphony orchestra, and with Ganame Jazz I have the power to book my own gig, go places. We went to Kuala Lumpur this year and perform these fantastic songs. And as much as I love performing with a big orchestra, it's really, it only happens a few times a year. With Ganame I can play a lot more. And it's, every time we perform the songs they're different because they're jazz musicians.
Do you have plans to perform in China?
Well, I'm just waiting for the invite. So yes, I have dreamed to perform in China, but until I get invited, hint hint. So yeah, I can't wait because first of all, I live in Japan, which is really close to China, and I love Chinese food. I'm always eating Chinese food. My first job in my whole life was in a Chinese restaurant. One of the best jobs I ever had because I used to eat all the food in the kitchen. So yeah, I can't wait to come.
Have you experienced any interesting culture shocks moving from Australia to Japan?
Well, yeah, I think it was so long ago too. I think things have changed. I moved in 1996 and it was a big shock not to have my own car and to have to catch public transport. I was really shocked that families were living in a big city without a car. So I just went from suburban Australia, so the suburbs where you have to have a car, to living in a big city where you don't need a car. And I was really surprised at how small the houses were, and that people, a family of 3 or 4 children could live in a really small apartment happily. So that was the biggest shock, biggest culture shock. But the good thing is Australia and Japan, they drive on the same side of the road, so it's not like I'm going to get hit because I look the wrong way.
So a lot of Chinese players know you from the Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker era. Were you familiar with Metal Gear Solid before you got the job?
I've never heard of it. So yeah, complete. First time I met Kojima-san, had no idea who he was. I was like, oh hello, oh yeah, and I could have fallen over him. I I've met so many famous people and I had no clue who they were. And yeah, so very ignorant woman.
Did you get to know more about Metal Gear Solid afterwards? Is there a character you liked?
Is there a character I like? I love Snake because he's sexy, and I have got to know more, but the more I try and read about it, it's just so convoluted and confusing, and I don't think I can ever really grasp the whole plot level, which is why I'm looking forward for the movie coming out, which I hope to sing in.
What's the possibilities of Metal Gear in concert coming to China?
That's a good question. I think it's a great possibility. It's up to, but it's out of my hands. It's up to other people to decide, but I'd love to go.
So tell me a fun episode that happened while voice acting for Silent Hill.
Tell me a fun episode? Gosh. Fun. Maybe something fun happened and I forgot about it, but the only fun thing is when we had to do because my character, is this Silent Hill 2 or 3?
Both.
Both. The funniest thing is when I had to do the zombie voices. So, and of course back then zombies weren't as popular, and these were zombies that were sort of more disgusting than your normal zombies, and just hearing the noises that were coming out of me, I just had to stop because it was hilarious, like, and so I'd stop and I have to stop laughing and start recording again, and then I'd just crack myself up, but eventually we got something out of it.
So what's the difference between voice acting for Nintendo, such as ARMS, and voice acting for Konami?
That is a good question. Well, the voice acting for iDroid is very, static. When did you start singing and sound acting for game songs? I'm just reading the questions here. And there's no action, whereas for ARMS, I was standing the whole time. It took about 6 hours of recording, and I was physically, there's another game that I'm in that I'm fighting, and it hasn't come out yet, so I have to be really careful. Anyway, so I was sort of having punching and so way more physical. And sorry, I just turned my iWatch off. Shut up. Okay, just chuck it away. Yeah, so it's way more physical. Yeah.
If you had to choose between voice acting and singing the theme song?
Singing.
Singing
is also acting, whereas voice acting is just acting. So singing, you get to have this beautiful harmonic sound come out that can physically move people to tears. It's way more powerful. So I'd like to have voice acting is a superpower, but singing is a much powerful superpower.
So do you still remember the first time you met with Mr. Kojima Hideo? What was your first impression like?
Yes, I had, it was at the international press release for Peace Walker, and I had just sung When Heavens Divide and come off stage, and the Akihiro Honda said, "Oh Donna, this is Kojima-san. He really wanted to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh no!" And then I was so excited. When you perform on stage, it's like this massive high, and I was just jumping up. I grabbed his hand, I was jumping up and down, and I said, "Thank you, I want to do it again!" And then I think security pulled me away and went backstage. No, that's a joke. But yeah, he's just very friendly, and because I'm so ignorant of who he was, I don't feel shy when I meet him. So I'm just like, "Oh, hello." Maybe now I feel probably more shy, but back then I was like, "Oh, hello, yeah, my name's Donna." Yeah.
So after many years of collaboration, if you had to describe him in 3 words?
smiley, friendly, talented.
What's a memorable thing that happened during your collaboration with him?
And one funny thing happened was I wanted to do a trip-hop version of Snake Eater. And this is before I had Ganame Jazz, and I just wanted to create a new version of Snake Eater. And so I was talking to Konami about doing that. And then I had a recording for the iDroid, and I said to Kojima-san, oh, I really want to do Snake Eater. And he goes, yeah, I know, I'm going to do Snake Eater too. I said, no, I'm going to record Snake Eater. And he goes, no, we're going to do Snake Eater. And so what had happened is that I was asking Konami for permission to do my own version on my own, nothing to do with Konami. And at the same time, Kojima-san was talking with his team about making a new, I don't know if I've got it here, the Konami, a commemorative album of all the best vocal tracks. And he wanted me to do a new version of Snake Eater for that. So that was really like, because they're both having the desire to do it, and from different. So I pretended to punch him, and he ducked. But anyway, we ended up doing it, and then I do another version on this as well, jazz version.
So any work coming up that you can give a bit of a spoiler to?
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with games. That I'm singing a song in a Japanese horror movie that's rated PG, so I didn't get that. It's a horror movie that kids, 12-year-olds can watch, and it's supposed to be really scary. And I'm singing a song in that. It's a wedding song. And the other thing that's come, oh no, there is something I can tell you about. I'm going to be in, so Nintendo Switch is re-releasing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is so exciting. And that's songs, I did 2 of the songs on here. That's Moonless Starry Night, and they're 2 wonderful songs. So that's going to be re-released and have a whole new audience. So I did that more than 15 years ago, so that's very exciting. And I do have another game coming out, but I cannot tell you. But it will be coming out in 2019. And there may be some punching, but I can't say anything more than that.
You have many fans in China, so would you...
Yay! Is that true? Is that true? How do you know?
Would you be interested in voicing or singing for Chinese games or coming to events?
Does this look like I'm interested? Yeah, I totally want to. It's so as I said, I was in Kuala Lumpur earlier this year, and I've been meeting with some Chinese companies to talk about coming over. So please, I'd love to make it happen. And the cool thing is, I'm just a 3-hour flight away. Yay.
So please leave a message for Chinese players and fans.
Please invite me to come. Please, how do you say please in Chinese?
拜托.
拜托. Is that, and with really begging face. 拜托. Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna happen, right? よろしくお願いします.